Defining 2020 goals. Let's make this year the best. Just about 8% of individuals accomplish their goals every year. What's more, just 75% of the individuals who are defining 2020 objectives will finish them after the principal 7-day stretch of the year. It's insane that 25% of individuals will quit progressing in the direction of their objectives after simply the primary week. Instructions to cause objectives for 2020 and afterward to prevail with them. Audit your 2019 objectives and goals. Before you begin defining 2020 objectives, you should consider how 2019 went for you. At the point when we think back on the earlier year, we can see where we battled, and that causes us to see where we have to concentrate for the following year. Also, on the off chance that you take a gander at what you were fruitful with, that will assist you with defining 2020 objectives that you can practically reach. Consider the goals you have finished, objectives you've met, the triumphs you've had, the battles you have experienced, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. At that point, consider what you wish you could have improved and how you may have the option to accomplish those things in 2020. By finishing this progression, you'll have the option to all the more likely make sense of what you have to do in 2020 to have a fruitful year. Ensure your 2020 objectives are SMART. You ought to consistently ensure that any objective you set for 2020 is SMART. A SMART objective is specific. What is your objective? Is it sufficiently explicit or is it excessively expansive? What should be accomplished for you to accomplish your objective? For what reason would you like to arrive at your objective? Measurable. How would you be able to gauge your advancement? By what method will you know whether you're on target? Attainable. Can your objective be accomplished? Realistic. Pertinent. Can you accomplish your objective? Is the objective justified, despite all the trouble? Time. What's your time for arriving at your objective? This is critical to recall when defining 2020 objectives because a SMART objective is one that you have invested a great deal of energy considering. At the point when you truly plunk down and consider your objectives, you are guaranteeing that your objectives are sensible and achievable. Record your 2020 objectives and goals. As a matter of fact, recording both your business and individual objectives are a significant advance as you are defining 2020 objectives. At the point when you genuinely record your objectives, you are bound to submit them to memory. You ought to record every one of your objectives and why they are imperative to you. If I don't record something or have it before me all the time, I will, in general, forget about it. Furthermore, this unquestionably goes for objectives and goals. If you can't recall your 2020 objectives, it would be difficult to accomplish them. Here are a few different ways to recall your objectives past simply keeping in touch with them down in a notepad. Create a blog to detail your advancement. Make a dream board. Put post-its around your home that run down your yearly objectives. Place updates on your telephone, schedule, or whatever else you use for your plan for the day. Arrange the most proficient method to arrive at your 2020 objectives. If you need to remain inspired with your objectives, at that point one of the main things you ought to do is to arrange how you will contact them in 2020. Rather than feeling like you are everywhere as you are defining 2020 objectives, an arrangement will assist you with concentrating on the means it will take to arrive at that objective. Your arrangement should detail the moves you have to make to arrive at your objective, what will occur as you complete each progression, when and how you will keep tabs on your development, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. Being point by point with your arrangement will assist you with arriving at your objective and be fruitful. Break your objective separated into littler 2020 objectives. As you are defining 2020 objectives, it very well may be extremely simple to imagine that you have a whole year to chip away at them. This may make you disregard them in any case or become overpowered with the work it will take to arrive at your objectives. One approach to moving toward your 2020 objectives is to consider 12 separate objectives that identify with a general objective, one for every long stretch of the year. Fundamentally, every month you would finish a stage that would get you closer to your general objective. This is an incredible method to remain persuaded as you are attempting to achieve greater objectives, and this is because each progression will give you that you are gaining ground towards that objective. There are even a few objectives that vibe too troublesome because you don't have the foggiest idea of where to begin. At the point when you separate your objective into littler advances, at that point it just feels increasingly sensible. Monitor your advancement and make changes to your 2020 objectives. To remain spurred with your yearly objectives and to get fruitful with them, you should survey your advancement now and then. You might need to check in day by day, week by week, or month to month, contingent upon what sort of objective you have and what works for you. This is the reason for recording your objectives or breaking them into sensible pieces as a significant piece of defining 2020 objectives. You can check in and see where you are at, and it helps if you gain notes of your ground as you go. Monitoring your 2020 objectives will disclose to you whether you will arrive at your objectives by giving you what you have to do, on the off chance that you are behind, and if you have to roll out an improvement. Changing your objectives isn't abandoning them either. It's creation certain that your objectives are working for you. Discover little approaches to adhere to your 2020 objectives. Many will tumble off course with regards to defining 2020 objectives and adhering to them because occasionally the means it takes to accomplish them simply feel too huge. This may make you overlook your objective if you are feeling apathetic. We've all felt lethargic previously, drained, etc. Tragically, everything necessary is falling behind on one little piece of your objective to winding wild and tumbling off course. Disregarding your objective for even only a brief time frame may likewise add to you tumbling off course. On the off chance that you are feeling like your objectives are too large to approach, figure out how to make little strides towards accomplishing them. These can be seemingly insignificant details you do every day that help change your everyday practice into one that encourages you to accomplish your objectives. Keep in mind, even little positive developments can lead you to accomplish the objectives and goals you set for the current year. Make propensities that will assist you with remaining concentrated on your objective. At the point when you are defining 2020 objectives, it will make them considerably more feasible if you can discover approaches to make your objectives part of your everyday schedule. Propensities are difficult to break, and that is the reason they can assist you with accomplishing your objectives. On the off chance that your objective is something like completely subsidizing your rainy day account, at that point make it a propensity to contribute at any rate X sum each week. On the off chance that you need to turn out to be increasingly fit, make a propensity for strolling for at any rate 20 minutes consistently. Discover approaches to spur yourself when defining 2020 objectives. Inspiration is the thing that props you up with the goal that you don't stop, and this will assist you in reaching your objectives. If you have some kind of inspiration as the main priority while defining 2020 objectives, it will assist you with continuing to move in the direction of your objectives in any event when it appears to be unimaginable. In any case, discovering inspiration can be a hard errand for anybody. Make arriving at your 2020 individual objectives an agreeable rivalry. One extraordinary approach to remain on target with your objectives for 2020 is to transform your objective setting into opposition among you and another person. Finding a responsibility accomplice can make arriving at your objectives increasingly fun and possibly simpler. This works since you won't be grinding away alone, you'll have somebody to converse with who is experiencing a comparable procedure as you, you'll have another person pushing you to succeed, and then some. At the point when you begin defining 2020 objectives, consider who else in your life may likewise be attempting to move in the direction of very similar things. This can be somebody you know, for example, a companion, relative, associate, etc. They can even be more abnormal, for example, somebody you met online who has a comparative objective as a top priority.